Welcome back, everybody, to my channel. We are back again with the strange and scary mysteries of the month. We are doing April this time, which is this month, last month, depending on when you're watching this. So, yeah, let's crack on.
Welcome everybody to the strange and scary mysteries of the month, where we find the craziest stories from all around the world currently going down and lay them out for you to wrap your head around. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here are the strange and scary mysteries of the month for April 2024.
Dun dun dun.
Thank you so much to MyHeritage for sponsoring today's video. MyHeritage is the leading global service for family history research and DNA testing, because they make it super easy to build out your family tree and discover your true origins. Gacy.
20 movies.
John Gacy,
Hello.
known infamously as the Killer
Hello.
Clown, was convicted of the murder of 33 young
Killer
men
Clown.
and boys between
Hold
1972 and
on.
1978.
That's scary.
His
I
crimes,
don't do clowns.
which involved luring his victims to his home in Northwood Park Township, Illinois, torturing and then murdering them, have equally fascinated and haunted the public as well as law enforcement for decades. The sheer number of victims is staggering, and the way Gacy put on the appearance to everyone that he was just a regular guy is something you rarely come across.
That's mad.
And recently, Karen Conti, a lawyer who was part of Gacy's defense team, has suggested that there may be up
She's
to 20 more
defending
victims
him.
of his, shedding new light on the possible scale of his crimes. And Gacy was arrested back in '78, and his home, or more specifically, underneath it, revealed a gruesome scene. The bodies of 29 young men were found buried in the dirt under his basement and along the surrounding property, with others dumped in nearby rivers. They would go on to be convicted in 1980 and ultimately executed by lethal injection in 1994.
Good.
Part of Gacy's MO involved disguising himself as Pogo the Clown to perform at children's parties, which he used as a cover for his dark activities, and is in part responsible for so many people nowadays being afflicted with coulrophobia and the fear of clowns.
Damn.
And Karen Conti, who joined Gacy's defense team in the early 90s, recently spoke about her experiences and reflections on the case. Despite her initial fear, she took on the role in an attempt to confront what she described as pure evil. And over time, her interactions with Gacy, who she described as disturbingly ordinary outside of his crimes, led her to suspect that there were many more victims than those identified during his trial.
Disturbingly ordinary.
Conti speculates that there could be as many as 20 additional victims, based on her discussions with Gacy and the gaps in his known timeline and activities. These victims, she believes, could be linked to times when Gacy traveled outside of Chicago, where digital law enforcement records that could have helped track his movements didn't exist yet. And this man was an insatiable killer, and so for him to have these cooling off periods that coincided with traveling didn't really seem to add up to Conti.
There's people like that now, like
she felt like more than likely he continued his crimes, and simply they were never linked to him, or the bodies never even found. And Gacy had a knack for spotting and picking up young troubled men who needed guidance, shelter, food, possibly beer, and he used that to his advantage to get up close and personal with them before attacking.
I think it's just stock footages of people.
Conti, though, says there are immense challenges in connecting Gacy's potential crimes in other jurisdictions due to the lack of integrated law enforcement databases at the time, and just the sheer amount of time that has passed and evidence likely lost. And this technological gap might have allowed Gacy to commit murders elsewhere without easy linkage to his known crimes in Chicago. The suggestion of additional victims has implications for both the historical record of Gacy's crimes and for the family still missing loved ones from that era.
If he was dead, no one would have
enforcement agencies
found out
might
that
need
there
to
was like
reopen
two more,
cold
right?
cases
two more, 20 more.
Re-examine unsolved disappearances during the time Gacy was active. The development of DNA technology and national crime databases now offers hope that these potential additional victims might finally be identified. And this would provide closure to their loved ones and add a new chapter to the already chilling story one of America's most notorious killers. Number 4, $30 million LA heist. In one of the largest cash heists in Los Angeles history, approximately $30 million was stolen from a money storage facility in the Silmar area of the San Fernando Valley on Easter Sunday,
What's
April
that amount
2nd,
of money
2024.
just sat around, not
This
in a
heist is
vault?
notable not only for the huge amount of cash taken, but also for the way they pulled it off. And currently, as of the making of this video, no one has been caught for the crime, but the LAPD and FBI are both working the case. On that day, the burglars managed to breach the building and access the vault without triggering any of the alarms, which suggests a high level of sophistication in their approach.
How do you even do that?
While initially police figured it was an inside job with someone disabling the alarms, that wasn't necessarily true, as reports say the thieves broke through the roof to gain access to the vault, a method that circumvented traditional security measures like door sensors and motion detectors. The stolen money was reportedly located in a Garda-World facility, Canadian-based security firm, and was comprised of cash collected from businesses all across the region. The exact method by which the thieves avoided detection and their exact entry point into the vault remains unclear, with ongoing investigations attempting
Surely
to
there should
uncover
be a
these
big,
details.
like,
But
hole
it
where
suggests these were experts in what they
the
were
people
doing,
went in. No,
and they had
No?
planned it out perfectly. The cash in these facilities is untraceable, so they can use it wherever they want. And because no alarms were raised, no one even knew it happened until they came in the following morning. That meant the thieves had all the time in the world to move the money, and it would have taken a long time as $30 million weighs around 600 pounds. They had to bring it up to the roof to get it out. So little by little, they took trips, and they could have jumped onto any of the main highways in LA and booked it out of town, meaning they may never find out who did this.
That's mad.
And this theft
They just managed
surpasses
to
previous
get
cash
away.
heists in the city, including the 1997 Dunbar armored robbery, which was the largest at that time with $18.9 million stolen. The current investigation is exploring all leads, including the possibility of insider knowledge given the precision of the operation. But by all accounts, these criminals have gotten away with it.
They just get away with it.
Number 3, scream mask and a
That's incredible
chainsaw.
how they can just get away with it, and that's it.
The
It's
Heighton
just
Borough, Pennsylvania,
gone. All
is
that money is
situated
just
about 75 miles
gone.
northwest of Philadelphia. It's typically a peaceful community with a modest crime rate, which is why this sudden, violent act shook the community and has also brought to light questions about safety in the town and everybody's well-being. And the attack occurred on the afternoon of March 25th, 2024, when 30-year-old Zach Moyer placed the mask from the horror film Scream over his face before unleashing a horrifying assault on his next-door neighbor, Edward Whitehead Jr., using a chainsaw and a knife. He mainly targeted the man's head and neck, and after he was done, Moyer simply returned to his home and watched a movie, displaying a chilling disconnection from the heinous act he had just committed. Edward, who was 59, was a longtime resident of Lee Heighton Borough, known among neighbors for his friendly and calm demeanor. Those who knew him couldn't believe what had happened to him. He would go on to be rushed to the hospital while he was alive, but unfortunately, he didn't make it. Zach had no prior criminal record in Pennsylvania, though he was described as becoming increasingly troubled in the weeks leading up to the attack. Moyer had reportedly expressed intentions to some people that he was going to harm Whitehead
People
prior
like
to him
this
doing
just
it, but
make it
the
terrifying
reason behind
to
it
go out,
exactly was
right?
unclear.
They just make you.
Apparently, it was just that he was his neighbor, someone close by to a deranged individual, an individual who manifested ideas
This is
in his
literally
head
what
that
I
were
was
not
just
true.
about to say. This could be literally the
Following
person
the
next door
murder,
to you.
local police, supported by
Just
state authorities, quickly apprehended
madness.
Moyer at his residence. And they found him watching the TV, and he didn't put up much of a fight. He's now charged with criminal homicide. Moyer's arrest brought some relief to the community, but also started a complex legal journey.
What?
As the case progresses through the judicial system, It highlights challenges in dealing with cases involving mental health and violence. The murder has ignited a broader discussion on community safety and the measures needed to prevent such tragedies. Lehighton Borough has seen vigils and community meetings addressing mental health support and safety.
That's really sweet.
The legal outcomes for Zach may also set precedents for handling similar cases, underscoring the need for a balanced approach to justice that considers both punishment and rehabilitation. And this man loved his movies and finally decided to make one of his own, only there were no cameras around to catch the act in real time, and his killing was anything but fake. Number 2, cold case linked to BTK solved. The chilling mystery surrounding the 1990 murder of Shauna Garber, a case that remained unsolved for over 3 decades in Missouri, has finally been resolved. Initially, suspicions had circled around 2 notorious serial killers, Dennis Rader, also known as the BTK killer, and Larry Hall. However, recent breakthroughs have cleared their names in connection with this case, pointing to another individual whose dark past has now come to light.
Okay.
On Halloween night of 1990, the tragic fate of 22-year-old Shauna Garber was sealed when she encountered Telfaye Reeves along Highway 59 in Missouri. According to investigators, Reeves brutally restrained Garber, hog-tied her by bounding her wrists and feet, and transported her to an abandoned farmhouse. It was there that he allegedly assaulted her and forcibly overdosed her with drugs in a desperate attempt to silence her screams. It wouldn't be for another 2 months that her body would finally be discovered, and decades before her true identity was even verified.
That's crazy how it...
For years, Shauna was only known as Grace Doe. Her true identity was obscured until technological advances in DNA analysis came into play. It was the very nature of her bindings that had initially led authorities to suspect the BTK killer had done it, as he was known for his heinous method of binding, torturing, and killing each one of his victims. Rader, currently serving multiple life sentences, has confessed to 10 murders, but denied any involvement in other cases such as this. And the breakthrough and identification of the true suspect came with the enhancement of DNA technology, which in March of 2021 enabled investigators to extract and analyze DNA from Garber, identifying her first through familial DNA matching. This not only helped establish her identity, but also redirected the focus of the investigation towards Telfaye Reeves, who had been a suspect alongside Rader and Hall. Reeves, who died on November 15th of 2021, was posthumously identified as the person responsible for Garber's death. This conclusion was supported by multiple witness testimonies collected over the years, which, despite their initial reluctance, painted a consistent picture of the events that transpired that fateful night.
How she was just there for all
Essentially,
that time.
over the years, more than 6 people had come forward, unaware that anyone else had done the same and told the same story of Reeves picking her up and taking her to that farmhouse. I guess he spoke a lot about it. And piecing the stories together, which were all the same, they were able to verify it happened, and so finally they got their man. Shauna's life, marked by tremendous hardship, included being born in a car, surviving an arson attempt by her mother, a failed adoption, and tumultuous years in foster care. Her half-sister Danielle Pixler reflects on the relentless challenges Shauna faced, which tragically culminated in her untimely death. Despite the resolution of the case, Pixler vows to continue seeking answers and ensuring that Shauna's story is told, refusing to let her sister be forgotten. Number 1, former beauty queen goes insane. I just don't get how
people are just like that, just disappear.
The story of Patricia and Bobby Sexton reads like a morbid, modern-day Southern tragedy, entwined with elements of forbidden love, betrayal, and straight-up cold-blooded murder. Happening over the course of several years in the 1990s in Jacksonville, Texas, this real-life drama unfolds with Patricia and Bobby, a country boy at heart, who was significantly older and already married with children when they first met. And their illicit affair not only scandalized their small town, but It also set the stage for a series of events that culminated in murder. The pair began their relationship when Bobby was introduced to Patricia by her aunt, Lisa Sexton, despite him being a married man with teenage children.
Oh my
Their
God.
affair quickly
It literally
deepened,
could
leading
be
Bobby to divorce his
anyone, eh?
wife in 1991 after discovering Patricia was pregnant. And the new couple then married
Wow.
and ended up having 3 daughters of their own. And Bobby suffered an injury after a roofing accident that placed him out of work. He had to have
Good.
a metal rod inserted into his back just so he could
Oh,
walk.
damn.
Not long after that, Patricia faced a battle with ovarian cancer that ended with a life-saving hysterectomy.
Wow.
These medical issues put a strain on their marriage, with Patricia claiming Bobby resented her for not being able to bear more children, exasperating the tension that already existed due to their financial pressures.
I don't get that
The real
about
mystery
the
then
children
began with a
thing.
call to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office on February 21st of 1998 by a nervous Patricia reporting that Bobby had gone missing. His body would go on to be discovered about a month later in a remote swampland, a victim of a shotgun blast right to the chest.
What?
The investigation quickly revealed a complex web of relationships and resentments
Did she do
involving
him
family,
in?
friends, and
Did she do him
coworkers.
in?
Initial suspicions fell on a man named Al Clark, family friend with a criminal past who had driven Bobby's abandoned vehicle back to the Sexton home. It was Patricia who called police with this information, saying he had somehow found the car, but this was just a diversion tactic from her. The case took a turn when police interrogated a man named Willie Wright, who, after being arrested for public intoxication on St. Patrick's Day, just voluntarily confessed his involvement in the murder. Wright's confession revealed that he and another man, Michael Fielding, had conspired in the killing, driven by Patricia's secret affair with Fielding. Wright's confession implicated Patricia and Fielding in an ongoing affair and suggested that Bobby's discovery of it led to his murder. And while Patricia denied it, the police got Fielding to talk, who was hoping for a plea deal, as he claimed the plot had been masterminded by Patricia and her grandmother, Dorothy Bingham, to prevent Bobby from taking their children in a potential divorce. The alleged motive was further complicated by financial incentives related to Bobby's disability claim, which would now go to Patricia in the event of his death. Patricia and Dorothy would go on to be charged with capital murder, with Patty receiving a life sentence while Dorothy, despite being convicted, served less than 3 years due to an appellate court decision.
What?
Fielding accepted a plea bargain for a 35-year sentence. The case against Wright dissolved after he died before the trial even took place, removing a key witness from the prosecution's lineup.
Wow.
Despite the convictions, Patricia maintains her innocence to this day, claiming she was framed in a plot she had no part in.
People don't
And
get what
she
they
would have got
deserve,
away
do
with
they?
it too,
They just don't
had it
get
not
what they
been for the
deserve.
liquid courage that fueled old Willie to go and run his mouth. So they were the strange and scary mysteries of the month for April 2024. If you enjoyed this, remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you can know when we're putting out our new content. It's 3 new episodes every single week for you guys. And remember to check out My Heritage, today's sponsor by Sun.
And when you actually look into each case, they could have easily just gone unsolved. And the ones that are solved, there was a guy that was just a normal person, like living next door. What the hell? And then all of a sudden he's like this mass murderer that's going to have you. That scares the hell out of me, because you never know who you're living next to. Like, some people think they know the neighbors and their work colleagues and stuff like that, but do you? Do you really know them? Like, you only see like a 2D part of their life. Like, you don't even get to see like the 4D, never alone like the whole thing. They're all just like, yeah, they're all just living these secret lives where we all put faces on for different things. But that's mad how that one person, it was literally had no reason to do it apart from just because they were the next door neighbor. That's new fear unlocked. But thank you guys for sticking with me. And much love as always. Please remember to hit the like button before you head out of here. It is very much appreciated. And don't forget to follow for more. We'll be back next month with some more scary mysteries of the month. Peace out, much love, and I'll catch you next time.